Hey everyone, my name is Nicholas and this is
Space Marine Steve from Play on Tabletop.
And we're here together to guide you through this series, walking through the basics of the 40K universe, how to build your first army, your first miniature, and how to play your first game. We found two brand new people in the hobby that we're gonna guide through this process. Today we're gonna be walking you through the entire history of 40K, and we brought in our resident voice of 40K.
The voice of Play on Tabletop, JT, and he is going to take you through the entire history, but with a little bit of a challenge.
JT, you must tell this entire thing in only 8 minutes.
Good luck, bud.
Hey folks, JT here, the voice of 40K in 40 minutes. All right, here we go. The galaxy is a place of constant war. 40,000 years into the future, the Imperium of Man is beset on all sides and does some of its own besetting. It's a massive galaxy-spanning empire that has become fiercely dogmatic, xenophobic, oppressive, and brutal. Literally, to quote the back of the book, "To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim dark future there is only war. There's no peace amongst the stars, only eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. Ha ha ha." Sounds fun, huh? Yeah. Let's pull it back to how we got here. 10,000 years earlier, humanity, after a golden age of technology, has been scattered amongst the stars. Earth is a shadow of what it once was. Think like Mad Max-style gang wars, but things are very grim and dark. Enter in the Emperor of Mankind. Who he is exactly, we might never know, but he's arguably the most powerful psyker in the galaxy, and potentially a gestalt entity made up of the psychic essences of the shaman, but we don't have time for that. He uses his knowledge and ability to unite the warring tribes of Earth with Thunder Warriors, abandons Thunder Warriors, then using that esoteric technological space magic, creates Space Marines. They're like Thunder Warriors 2.0. Genetically engineered super soldiers wielding mighty weapons and ceramite armor, which doesn't rust. To lead his legions, he goes a step further and creates 20 Primarchs that are created with superhuman strength and abilities. Each has their own unique character and abilities, like unparalleled strategic skill, impressive martial ability, or like super emo powers. Meanwhile in the warp, an alternative dimension of raw emotion and psychic energy made manifest, the Chaos Gods and their legions of demons with an A seek to corrupt everything. They manage to interfere with the Primarchs through more space magic, scatter them to the stars, and begin their work to attempt to sway them to the corrupting influences of chaos. Because the Emperor made a deal with the Chaos dudes and stole some stuff, and they're mad about it. It's a mess. Not missing a beat though, the Emperor begins his campaign to retake the stars for humanity. He seeks to establish an empire of reason and science, denying that he is anything but a man. Yet at the same time, wink wink nudge nudge, he lets the colonies of Mars view him as their omnissiah, their great machine god, to get access to all their cool tech, like massive Titan god machines. So cool. Using these and the might of his new Space Marines, he conquers the stars. He pushes out the aliens such as orcs, Eldar, and other unsavory characters, often through utter exterminatus. The Emperor is gradually united with his lost Primarchs. Some reunions are joyous, and some are shadowed by mistrust and some serious daddy issues. One of the greatest of these is Horus, and he's put in charge of the crusade as the Emperor heads back to Terra to start work on a super secret project to protect humanity from chaos once and for all. In the Emperor's absence, the Chaos Gods manage to manipulate events and tempt Horus to fall to chaos. We all blame Aratus, turning him against his father. A full half of the Space Marines and Primarchs betray the Imperium, joining with Horus as he throws the galaxy into civil war. The Horus heresy has begun. Meanwhile, the Primarch Magnus, greatest psyker below the Emperor, tried to warn the Emperor by attempting to astrally project himself into the warp and right into Papa Emperor's workshop. Without realizing it, he broke the Emperor's super secret webway project, and a massive breach was made between the real space and the warp. Demons be like, look, a doorway to fun times and carnage. Boy, did Magnus ever do a wrong. Back to the Civil War. Yada yada, billions of people die. A few of the Primarchs die, chaos is thrown into chaos, brother has fought against brother, and 52 books and novellas later, Horus and his fleet arrive at Earth. The following Siege of Terra is a massive battle on a scale never truly seen before, as loyalists face traitor, brother fights brother, the traitors start being corrupted by chaos, some grow extra tentacles and mutations, some go blood crazy, some start experience urges we probably shouldn't talk about on a family-friendly show. With his army starting to fall apart, Horus tries the last bit gambit, lowers his shields and flagship, and invites the Emperor to a one-on-one duel. Emperor accepts the bait, and in the end, the Emperor slays Horus, Sanguinius dies, but the Emperor is mortally wounded. The bodyguards rush him back to his palace and install him on his golden throne. That allows his essence to survive and his psychic might to push back the forces of chaos. They all flee and they live in the warp, Eye of Terror. They brood and bicker like my great aunt's playing bingo, and they grow more tentacles and claws and stuff like my great aunt's playing bingo. Meanwhile, the Emperor's physical body erodes. To sustain his life life force, 1,000 psychers are sacrificed to him daily. He sits motionless on his throne, little more than a corpse, but his psychic ability is so strong that he's able to maintain the Astronomicon, a guiding light in the warp that enables faster than light travel. Think of it as a psychic lighthouse. But humanity's saved, right? Well, not really. For the next 10,000 years, as we reach the titular year of 40k, things begin to fall apart and entropy begins to set in. The Emperor is defied and a whole fanatical cult becomes essential to the Imperium. Failure to venerate the God Emperor is often punishable by fire.
Hello, we're the Sisters of Battle, the militant arm of the Church of the Emperor. You have been accused and found guilty of heresy. Prepare to be purged. Thank you.
Scientific progress and reason is out the window as knowledge is lost to a point where even a simple machine must be anointed with the right oils and litany spoken before you dare inquire of its machine spirit. The bloat and rot of bureaucracy seep in, the average worth of human life is nothing. Now, new and old enemies assail the Imperium from all sides. The forces of chaos are back, and the traitor Space Marines continue their war led by a new War Master, Abaddon. The Eldar are just trying to live and reclaim their fallen empire. The Dark Eldar are way more interested in capturing slaves for their arenas and torturing them. The Orcs want to fight everything because that's what they do. The Tyranids want to eat everything because that's what they do. The Necrons are waking up. They see the galaxy's a mess and totally want to reconquer it. The Tau want to pretend to be your friends. The Votan seriously want you to get off their lawn. The various Chaos Gods will either give you a hug or chop your head off or possibly both at the same time. That's not to mention the constant posturing, mistrust, and infighting between different factions in the Imperial Guard, the Sisters of Battle, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Imperial Knights, a different kind of knight, the Grey Knights, the Space Marines, the other Space Marines, the other Viking Space Marines, and all the other kinds of Space Marines. Guilliman is back, and he has a new Eldar girlfriend, but there's too much for him to do, so Marines get an upgrade, but not everybody likes that whole Primaris thing. Galaxy's in a never-ending state of war, with everybody wanting to kill everyone else. The Golden Throne may be failing, there are no good guys, life's a constant struggle, life is worth nothing, oh, and a big giant Terra warp energy split the galaxy in half, and one half is now cut off from the rest. Whew. If you're looking to find out more about the lore of 40k and take your first steps into this grimdark universe, not only are there great lore channels on YouTube such as Luton or Oculus Imperialis, one of the best places is the books of the Black Library. Black Library is the official source of all the lore of 40k, and novels and short stories span from the Horus Heresy to current 41st millennium. The sponsor of this first step series is Wayland Games, and they have a great selection of Black Library books to get you started in 40k. They're offering 5% off of all their Black Library content. They also have a fantastic selection of games, miniatures, and much, much more. Make sure to check out Wayland Games in the link in the description below and tell them PlayOn sent you.